Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for tuning in. I guess I'll go ahead and call this the first episode of the Preston Scott Project. Kind of just wanted to update everyone kind of on how I'm living my life, my purpose, all these things. Probably answer a lot of my own questions doing this, hopefully. But yeah, I figured the easiest way to kind of just get everything, I guess, off my chest or whatever what have you, would be doing a video. So I thought, man, that could be cool, and maybe I'll just make it a thing and potentially do other episodes. I could call it a podcast, could call it a. That's why I just decided on Preston Scott Project, because I guess ultimately the goal is to positively influence or impact, as many people as I can. That's kind of realized the past. I've always known it, I guess, subconsciously, but within the past year, I've kind of realized that's what the purpose of life is, at least for me. I mean, everyone's got their own reasons and whys and things like that, but I've realized that's what I feel like my purpose and my reason for being here, or one of them, anyways, is to all the energy in the world. It's either positive or negative or neutral. I mean, hopefully more positive than negative. I sure see it that way. But if I can contribute to that in any way, it's contagious, and it only benefits everybody. So that's kind of the goal. I'm still doing a lot of music stuff. There will probably be kind of music things on here. This is, I guess for now it'll just be on a YouTube channel thing, but maybe one day, who knows? Put it on Spotify and all that. But yeah, this first video, I kind of wanted to just do an intro, kind of my own story for anyone that cares to listen. I mean, appreciate it. It's pretty cool that I've even had people inquire about that, and just had some great conversations over the past year. I'm posting this as, I guess, the main thing is I'm coming up on a year, no alcohol, which I've done before. I've gone over a year before. Obviously, before I was 18, 16, whatever. I went a lot of years before without it, but in my early 20s, mid 20s, I did a year or two off. Not really for the same reasons as I have now, or because of the same realizations, I guess, which is a good thing. I guess it shows signs of growth, and you're not staying stagnant by switching how you do things in life. I think that's good to do, is change it up every now and then. And why not quit drinking? I feel better than ever. Yeah, just wanted to kind of update this past year, and even longer, even a little bit before I quit drinking alcohol. Just a lot of life is just feels like a whole new life, and I feel like a whole new person. I know not drinking has a lot to do with that, but so many other things. I mean, what even led to me not drinking? It's a long road, so that's kind of, I guess we'll try to tell the whole story here. I didn't write anything. I've been thinking about it a lot, kind of what I wanted to talk about, but there's so much. I mean, I don't know what all I'll get into. I don't want to keep it. I don't want to make it too long. I want to keep it somewhat, tolerable for people to listen to, because I do have a lot of things I want to share, and I guess it doesn't all have to be on one episode, but I kind of figured this would be the intro, and then maybe have other guests, musician friends, interesting people that I think one of my favorite things about life is interesting conversations, and got a lot of good buddies that I've had some great conversations with, throughout life, but especially the past year and a half. So it'd be cool to have some of them on and talk about God knows what. I mean, let's just be honest, Joe Rogan's a big inspiration, and he's honestly a huge part of why I'm where I'm at in life. And I'm not trying to be a copycat or anything. I just think it's important to share you know, things that I've learned that have helped me, or, you know, things I've just seen in life that have changed my life for the better. I figured it's best to share things like that and try to have a positive impact on the world. So that's the Preston Scott Project, and here we go. So, yeah, coming up on a year, no alcohol. What's today? On my phone's right here. Let's see. Today is December 5th, so in 5 days will be my 1 year of not drinking this go around, and there's no way I'm ever going to drink again. Not on purpose. I mean, someone, you know, there was one moment I was playing an acoustic gig with a couple of buddies, Alex Englehart and Kanan Bryce, down here at the Boxcar, the local watering hole. One of the coolest places. You got to go there in life. It's at one time in your life, if you never have, check it out. But Kanan ordered. He didn't know I wasn't drinking. This was close to when I just stopped drinking, and he had ordered all three of us shots up there. And I had told him, like, "Oh, I'm not drinking." I think he thought I was joking, because I'm the last person you'd think is not drinking unless you already knew ahead of time. If you know the old me, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's kind of what led me to stop drinking. Was just I got to a point where that was all I looked forward to, you know, getting off work and I couldn't even stand just being home alone. Like, what's going on, you know, on a Monday night or Tuesday night, Wednesday night, didn't matter. It's just like, oh, I guess nothing's going on. I'll just go to the, you know, the bar downtown or whatever. Just waste money and waste time. And at least for me, that's how I saw it. So yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna try to be as honest and open as possible in all this. I mean, nothing bad or crazy. Luckily, nothing bad or crazy happened. I mean, probably some crazy things, but honestly, I don't. There's many times where I just would drink so much that the night before would be so blurry, or, you know, it's scary, things like that. So I just kind of had a realization that I needed to put a stop to that. And like I said, I'd quit drinking before for a little bit, so I knew I could do it. But it's once you get going, the hard part is, especially, you know, I live by myself. I get my daughter every other weekend, and I have two dogs. Like, so most of my time I get off work and I'm home alone. And when you quit drinking, you know, that you get a lot more, you know, isolated. Not necessarily. I mean, a lot of times by choice, just because there's, you know, you're trying to avoid situations where you might. But it was pretty quick for me where I'd lost the desire and the temptation. I started seeing some positive benefits this go around, and yeah, and now I'm pretty confident that I'll probably never drink again in my life. I don't see any positives that come from it, and I see nothing but positives from quitting it. And it only gets better, and I've only been feeling better and better over this past year. So, and yeah, so that's kind of the story why I quit drinking. I will say there's been a lot of growth just being in the sober mind, just being able to get my control of my thoughts back, and just, you know, just feeling better. It all is connected. Just what you eat, how you feel. I've been eating a lot better. That's kind of all I do. I don't come home and watch TV. I do watch TV, but I'm not watching just, you know, pointless things. I'm usually watching things like Joe Rogan episodes, like where he's talking to, you know, scientists, or, you know, researchers, ancient, you know, historians, you know, archaeologists, geologists. I like learning about all those things, and I think my curiosity into those types of videos has kind of kickstarted and I feel like I'm just, so much about life makes sense now, and I feel like I keep learning more and more, and to help me, you know, understand it all and how everything works. And Yeah, there was so I'll go way back. Some of the things I say might kind of trip people out, but a lot of people will get this stuff. It's crazy the community that I've kind of stumbled upon on like YouTube and social media and things. Like if you look at my algorithm on Instagram or Facebook, it's 90% videos or little quotes like positive things or things about health, talking about health. I mean, you're not seeing. I don't really. There's every now and then you get the funny videos of someone, you know, wiping out on their skateboard or whatever crazy videos. But yeah, it's pretty positive, and I'm on it way too much. I will say that, but to take it way back, I'll just, like I said, try to keep it as straightforward and open as possible. I think it is really important, and hopefully these things I'm talking about help somebody or connect with somebody or make sense or, spark your curiosity to, just open up to get out of your routine and open up to new possibilities or opportunities or ways of looking at things. I was watching. This was actually a little bit before I had quit drinking. I was at work and I had on my lunch breaks I would just make my own food at work. I have celiac disease, so I can't have gluten. It kind of like 2 years ago, maybe a little over, got diagnosed with that and changed my life. Like honestly, I'm grateful for it now because I was so unhealthy, so out of shape, not feeling good. I wasn't really overweight. I was probably 30 or 40 pounds heavier than I am now, which I'm like the lightest I've ever been. And I don't, just to add to that, I don't work out at all. I mean, I walk every day on my lunch break. I get an hour lunch break and I'll walk at least 45 minutes. I'll just walk laps outside around the building. But that's not to lose weight. I started doing that to get vitamin D from the sun because that's one of the most important things that people don't really even consider. Where a lot of people, especially kids in classrooms, locked in a classroom all day with these gray walls and weird lights, and I think we all kind of experience that, and that's not good. You need to be outside in nature. We're all made of the same stuff. It only makes sense that we're supposed to spend time in solitude out in nature and things like that, which I need to do more of. But anyways, I was on my lunch break. We'll take it back there. I get sidetracked so easy. I might not even end up posting this. I might end up redoing it, but we'll see. On my lunch break one day, about a little over a year ago, and I would a lot of times just watch the latest Joe Rogan episode, and or as much as I could of it. Those things can get long sometimes, or all the time. Let's try not to make this one that long, but I don't even remember who he was talking to or anything like that. But I remember they brought up, and I think I had already kind of stumbled across like people talking about the pineal gland, and I mean, if you don't know really, if that's the first time you're hearing of that, I would suggest looking into it at least. I mean, make your own observations and conclusions with it, but that kind of kicks my curiosity and seeing videos about that. And I watched a TED Talk of one guy talking about that, and it's insane. Some of the stuff they talk about, like, really got me interested. And there was a Joe Rogan episode. They were talking about remote viewing, which is another crazy thing, which I've kind of come to, like, probably more than halfway believe that's. I mean, it was a CIA declassified thing. You can look up and learn a lot about the remote viewing stuff. And anyways, this Joe Rogan episode, they were talking about the tapes that they used, these old meditation tapes. I don't remember when they were from, the 70s probably. There was some kind of meditation tapes, and it's like you have to have headphones or some way to hear it in stereo, and because you're supposed to hear certain things through the left and certain things through the right. And it's not I mean, it's just, it sounds like a normal meditation video. There's nothing crazy about it. There's some ocean sounds and a guy talking, and it's pretty monotone. Um, but I listened to that and I followed along with it. You know, there's parts where you're like, this was over a year ago, but close your eyes and do all these things and put all your worries in a box. You know, you imagine a box and you put everything in there and just leave it there and put the lid on it, you know, and all these things. You're supposed to really try to visualize these things. And anyways, I did all that. There was one point where I was like, oh, I feel something, or I see, you know, some calming lights, like he describes in the tapes, like, oh, you might see this, or I can't remember exactly. But anyways, got done watching that. It's like a little six part little video thing. And I at that point I wasn't walking on my lunch breaks. Obviously, I was spending them in my office watching Joe Rogan episodes. And shortly after that, all I remember, kind of randomly, I just started seeing the number 444 everywhere. Like at work, I would even pick things up, like, and look at the bottom of like my stapler at work, and the model number says 444. Like no other numbers, 444. You know, and in the same day, within the same 30 seconds, grab a record. I had my record player at work in my office. Grab a record, flip it over. The barcode has a 444 in it. And this was all within like a week, maybe just a few days, like 3 or 4 days. I mean, now I notice those all the time, but this was the first time in my life I was like, what does that mean? Why do I keep seeing the number 444? There was like a stuffed animal that someone had on their desk at work that I picked it up just because I was talking about it. And I was like, look, you know, showed him. The first time that it caught my attention, like, okay, this is like the third or fourth time in a day I've seen that number. And I was telling my buddy about it that I worked with, and I'm driving home, and I had just finished telling him about it, driving home from work. And I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen it. And, you know, I think I had seen, you know, maybe once that day. I was like, I haven't seen it all day since this morning or whatever it was, or it might have been the day before. I was like, maybe it's gone now. Maybe it was just maybe it's me just, you know, looking for it or whatever. But I was not looking for it when it's like, okay, that's weird. Like, this is the third or fourth time. I'm on my way home from work. I just finished telling the first person I told about this when it first caught my attention. Like, and I pull up to this light as I'm thinking, like, I haven't seen it all day. And I look over, and the car in the other lane that's kind of in front of me, license plate had 444 on it. So I don't have no clue what that means. And then I start looking into angel numbers and things like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's, you know, a lot of it talks about how you have, you know, spirit guides or guardian angels or whatever, you know, you're being protected, or, you know, it's just a reassuring sign. Everything's all right. There's all kinds of cool, positive things that I was reading about that. And I'm like, well, that's cool. So now every time I see, which now all the time I see numbers, and there'll be like a week where I see 1111, and not even just on the clock. I'll see it, you know, all kinds of different places. There's weeks where I'll see 222 or 333, or, you know, whatever. There'll be 4 times in a day where I'll see 777, and I'm not even necessarily looking for these. I think just maybe going through that initial experience made me, I guess, pay attention to numbers more. I don't know, or either way, I feel like it benefits me because I'm like, oh, that's a good thing, because they're all positive. Like if you go read about them. And anyways, this was kind of my first experience where I'm like, something happened. Now, whether that has anything to do with the tapes or whatnot, I have no idea. I'm open to the possibility that maybe it triggered something in my mindset, but they didn't talk about angel numbers or anything in these meditation tapes. I had no idea. Maybe I had heard the term, but never something I looked into or knew about or what it meant. But now it does mean something to me, and it's pretty cool. I notice things all the time, like even today, like seeing repeating numbers. It's a cool thing. I don't really know how to describe it any better, but some people will probably get that. I'm sure a lot of people will get that. I don't know how many people will see this that get that, but it is a cool thing to know about and to experience, especially the way I did. I felt like it was just came out of nowhere and just shook me a little bit. But anyways, yeah, that kind of there's one of the, I guess, little first crazy little things. And I don't talk about these things a lot because not that I care like what people think so much, but I don't want people to just be like, I don't even care about this. Why it's so I kind of I hold back with a lot of that stuff. But here I'm just, if people get this far, you can it's a video, you can pause it or go watch something else. But for people that do care, that's only the beginning of that kind of stuff in my life. So we'll consider that chapter 1 there. Just stumbling upon angel numbers and so many other things in life like have happened, like synchronicities I've learned about, because I would be looking up like, what does this mean when you're thinking about someone you haven't talked to in forever and they call you like right after that? Cognitive dissonance, these kind of terms and things that had never really happened before I watched those videos or anything. And like I said, the video didn't talk about those types of things. It's just things that I've noticed, and maybe quitting drinking, I'm sure, contributes a lot to that. I've learned a lot about the spirituality type of stuff, and to me, that's just like, I consider it Christianity. Obviously, like I still know that there's an almighty creator, and our souls are eternal. Like I genuinely 100% believe that more strongly than ever. Just thanks to this journey I've been on the past year and a half, which really has been this past year and a half has been reflecting on the rest of my life with a clear mind finally. So yeah, you're not drinking, a lot has happened. And the number thing was before I quit drinking. So I think at that point I was kind of getting into the mode of like looking up just, and a lot, like I said, a lot of it's from Joe Rogan, learning about things that are bad for you or things that are healthy for you, or things to try, like mushrooms, like lion's mane. I drink coffee with lion's mane mushrooms and other kinds of mushrooms in it, like chaga mushrooms, reishi mushrooms. I got some tea. I actually forgot that I had made this. This is a tea that I drink called Mushroom Wellness Blend. It's all kinds of chaga mushrooms, all the ones I just said. But I learned all this from Joe Rogan episode. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool, and it does make a difference. The first time I had one of my mushroom coffee pods that I drank, I instantly, like, it kicked in, and I was like, within a minute of finishing it, and I just instantly felt like a sharpness come about me, like, oh. And I'm at work, on my computer, like locked in. It was a busy day, and I was not stressing. Like, I don't really stress a lot at work. There, I mean, it can get there at certain points, but I was just breezing through it, and it definitely made a difference. I'm sure that now I've been drinking it every day since then, has built kind of a tolerance, maybe, I don't know, or I just don't notice it because I'm just permanently a little sharper, maybe, I don't know. I do feel that way. But let me take a sip. Ozzy's over here licking his paws like loud as crap. You can probably hear it. But yeah, I kind of wish there was like an interactive thing. People could ask questions and things, but hopefully y'all will comment on here and give me suggestions to talk about more stuff. But yeah, over the past year, man, I've shortly before, it's probably been, a year and a half. I was about to get married, all kinds of stuff, had the wedding booked, all these things, and had a house, and kind of quickly, that chapter closed pretty quick, and I kind of had to pack my life up by myself and move it here, where I'm at now. And it was crazy, man. That's I think why I started drinking quite a bit, and which only makes things worse, like 100%. I mean, I wasn't drinking because of that. I think I was having fun. That's what it is. Drinking fools you into thinking that sitting at a table or whatever that you're having fun. You're just whatever. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that does it. I probably was the worst one out of anybody for years and years and years. If you ask people, they knew me as like the crazy guy, the crazy party drink guy, or oh yeah, he gets drunk, he gets lit, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying I've heard that, but I would assume, thinking back on some of the times that I barely remember. I mean, but yeah, once I started getting into all the healthy stuff, and I already couldn't eat gluten, so that drastically changed my diet. But I got to the point now where I tried it, and I'm not 100% strict to it. I mean, but I tried to eat only single ingredient foods like fruits, vegetables, meats, nuts, legumes, if that's how you say that word. I try my best to stick to that. Like, obviously, I use salad dressing on my salad, but I try to get a healthy one. I season the crap out of all my vegetables. I use Celtic salt. That's the only. I don't have table salt. I don't have the pink Himalayan salt. I have gray, I think it's called gray Celtic salt. I've learned that that's supposed to be really good for you and have more minerals and be more nutritious. All kinds of tips I want to share. Like, I might do like a video where I talk about like a week, like, of what my meals are, or what I do in my free time, things like that. Not drinking, because that's the hard part, is finding how to occupy your time when you were going to the bar 4+ nights a week, in your free time. So, I had already kind of started once that engagement and all those things ended, and I kind of got back to just, at least, now I didn't have to worry about, being judged, or, I could do what I want, basically. So, I started working on music again, put a couple songs out, and, life got pretty good. It was getting pretty good, other than my drinking. I was eating better, and finally I had, I think, one weekend where it was like 2 or 3 nights in a row where it was like, oh man, I don't really remember what we did last night. Asking my buddies, like, what did we do? And just not, I don't even remember seeing them or things like that. And it, like I said, 2 or 3 nights of that in a row. And I always, so many times prior to this, I would go out and drink, wake up the next day and just have that anxiety, like talking with my buddies that I was with the night before, and we both have it, just like, oh man, and you can just feel the energy's down. It's like, oh, let's go drink again, the night after, like, and you're temporarily fooled into thinking you're doing better. But yeah, I finally was able to just say, today's the day. I think I was going to make it my New Year's resolution, was what it was. And then it was like, I think the Monday after that weekend or something, it was December 10th. And I was like, or maybe that Sunday, the last day I drank was December 10th. Either way, December 10th was the last day I drank. And I was just like, why not start now? Let's just do it. If we're going to do it, why do I wait another 20 days, 21 days, 22 days for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to stop drinking? Yeah, New Year's Day. I would have definitely drank New Year's Eve if that was going to be my New Year's resolution. So I just started then. I was like, let's go. And I think my goal at first was like take a month off. But dude, after that month, I didn't lose a lot of weight. Like I was only like 186 to 190 when I stopped drinking. Now I'm 152 to 155. Like I weigh myself every day at work, and that's the lightest I've been since high school. That might have been what I weighed in high school. And yeah, for years, even after celiac and cutting out gluten and all those things, like I hovered around 186. And like I said, I don't work out at all now, other than walking. I learned that, walking, I think most Americans walk like less than 5,000 steps. It might be even a lot less than 5,000 steps a day. I think it might be like 3,500, but I learned like walking at least 5,000 steps in a day has so many health benefits, like longevity goes up, your cancer risk goes down, all these positive benefits. And so I started trying to do that. Instead, on my lunch breaks, I would listen to Joe Rogan or listen to videos about, the pineal gland or, whatever kind of things I could get into, like that pique my interest. And while I'm walking and I'm getting the vitamin D, which was really the main goal here, was getting outside and, it just tackling all kinds of positive, good things for me. I'm learning while I'm listening. I'm walking, and I'm telling you, in 45 minutes, I get close to 8,000 steps, sometimes more. Like, just depend. Like some days I'll walk for 40 minutes. Some days I'll walk for a whole hour. It just depends. But I do get around 8,000 plus steps a day. I wish I got 10,000 every day. That's the next goal. Maybe come home and walk a little more, but it sounds like it's not going to do nothing. But if you do that every day, you will feel better. And I'm not saying that is why I've lost weight. Obviously, my diet, I would say diet is 95% of weight loss. I never had a goal to lose weight. I didn't think that I looked bigger than I should have at 186, and now I'm 35, whatever, almost 40 pounds down from there. And at one point in my life, when I was like 21, maybe 18 to, or not 18, I was in high school. But from the time I graduated high school, probably weighing 150 to 160 to the age 21. At 21, I weighed probably 215, maybe 220 pounds. And that was for a couple years until I quit drinking. And once I quit drinking that time, I started working out like 4 days a week. I tried to eat healthy. I still ate Whataburger, or whatever fast food, probably half the meals in a week. I mean, let's be honest. But I was ripped. I was like not swole or anything, but I was working out 4 days a week, just calisthenic type stuff. I had a gym membership, and that I would go to the gym and do things that I could have done at home, but 4 days a week at least, and I got down to 168, like working my butt off really. And now I'm 150 to 155, and I don't work out at all. It's all diet, and I'm telling you, like, that's the biggest thing. If you're trying to lose weight, just don't go on a diet. Change your diet permanently. Change what you eat permanently. Like, I'm sure a lot of y'all see the RFK Jr., all the stuff he talks about. It's not a joke. Like, it's not some, like, it's the real deal. Like, the seed oils and everything. The seed oils and everything. I mean, try to avoid that. Try to avoid added sugars. That's the hardest one. That's the hardest thing for me to quit is the sugar. And I've heard a lot of people say that. But yeah, avoid that. I mean, get sun, get outside. Spend time alone. That's the biggest thing. I've never been good at just being alone, like spending time by myself. Always looking for something to do or buddies to hang out with, or I had to be in a relationship or whatever it was. And I never really knew myself. We'll just say it bluntly, because I never took the time to allow myself to be myself. I was always so worried about what people thought or whatever. So I finally kind of isolated myself, and by my lifestyle changes, kind of inadvertently isolated me from a lot of social activity other than like gigs and stuff that I play. Like I don't see a lot of people, just like my band homies and a couple other people, but isolation is where you're going to grow the most. That's what I have learned. That's one of the biggest lessons. I would get home from work and I started grounding. Like as soon as I'd get home, kick my shoes off, set them by the door, take my socks off, throw them in the hamper, get my dogs, get the dog frisbee, and we're going outside for at least 15 minutes, and I'm going to be barefoot on that grass, chunking a frisbee as far as I can, and my dog will catch it every time, I'll tell you that. And that is I still do that every day. I've been doing that, at least probably, I think before I quit drinking, I was doing that. And yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I go outside. It's pretty cold out right now, and I'll still go out there barefoot when I get off work, unless it's wet and rainy like it was yesterday. But yeah, I don't know when it gets freezing cold. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but it's good for you. And our bodies are electrically charged. That's scientific. Like that shouldn't be any news to anyone. Honestly, that's something we should all realize by now. Static electricity. Everything is energy, and what's really crazy is how everything is. Atoms are mostly air, and it's crazy to think about when you go deep on the science of just matter, and we're just light and energy, really. And I think this physical reality is just a temporary home for our souls, and we're here to try to make this place better. And the body is a temple. That's a big thing I've learned. Like you can't do your best if you're not feeling your best, and there's really nothing to it but to do it. You have this one life on this earth. You might as well make this experience here on earth as wonderful and amazing as you can, and as long as you can. I think, like, why not live a long life? Then you got more time to put in the work and try to make this place better than it was when you got here. So that's the goal, baby. That's what I have come to terms with. And even with my music, like I've realized that is a tool, I guess, in my calling that I have learned is music, using music to make the world better, to connect with people, to show sympathy and empathy for, situations, especially things that I try to use my experiences to, connect with people through music. And, I've always kind of tried to do that, but I always thought like, oh, will people think this is cool? Oh, no, I should do it like this just so people think it's cool or whatever. Well, now I just like the past 4 songs I've put out since I've moved where I'm at and, started this whole new journey. Those are all songs I probably would have never put out, if I hadn't have been through all these things and just finally just accepted myself and, just realized like I'm making these songs for me. If I like them enough to share them with somebody, if I like them enough to send to my homie, like why not finish it and make it sound as good as possible and share it with the world? So that's kind of what I've done, and it seemed to be a better game plan than spending so much money to try to go record something I think everyone will think is cool. Now I just record my songs right here and add the drums and add everything and do it all. And I do my drums on this keyboard here. Sometimes there's like a virtual drummer, but maybe we'll do an episode about my how I make songs here. That would be a cool video, actually. I didn't think about that, but yeah, and I'm recording this through my microphone here. I just got my phone on a camera stand, but I figured I'd at least make on a little tripod. I figured I'd make the audio as good as I can, so hopefully it's not bad. When I'm sitting here saying I'm producing songs and stuff, but I keep getting off track, but yeah, I'm making music again. I realize like I'm making this for me, and if the people that are supposed to connect with this music will connect with it. So that's kind of what I've been doing, try to make songs that and I've learned that making music is healing for me. It's like one of the only times where my brain's shut off. I'm not thinking about nothing except what I'm doing. Like if I'm just jamming on the guitar, especially if I'm just like jamming, playing some lead guitar over some chord progression I came up with or something on here, like that's the only time that you're just actively in a flow state, like doing something in the present moment. Like I'm just jamming, playing what's coming to mind, like it's flowing, you're just going with it. It's like freestyle rapping or anything, which was that was kind of one of the first music recordings I did, was with all my high school buddies, just freestyle rapping over old DSR or Big Tuck beats. Like those were good days, and it was necessary. It was part of the journey. Everything's necessary. All the bad stuff I've learned is all supposed to teach you a lesson, and nothing happens by accident. Everything in life is about learning and growing from it so that you can help other people that are going through things similar, or just make the world better. We're all just trying to walk each other home. I think that's the thing. And I think we will be rewarded for doing that. Like I said, the soul, I think this body is the temple for the soul. It's you got to respect it and take care of it the best you can. And the sooner you do, you'll realize, like, what the heck? Why haven't I been doing this forever? It's not hard. Like, for me, like, there's sometimes where I'll have a gig or something and I'll miss, I'll skip dinner because I don't get home till midnight. I try not to eat after like 8 p.m., like at the latest, but I mean, not every night, I make exceptions here and there, but, I'll skip dinner every now and then, but for the most part, that's because I'm getting home late from a gig or something. Like, the food that I eat and the things that I cook, they're not hard, and a lot of it I'm just throwing stuff together. Like I'll thaw out chicken thighs or chicken breasts or ground beef, and I'll be almost out of groceries. I'll be like, oh, what do I got? Oh, I got a can of lentils, which I started eating. I don't know if you've heard of those, but those are pretty dang good. And I got started buying those because I learned how healthy they were. I was like, oh, I'll try them. And they're like tiny little, like, they taste like a tiny little bean, like a black bean or something. They're great. Like last night I made Patagonia scallops, which are tiny little scallops. I just whipped them all up in some real butter, not some country crock margarine. I whipped some scallops and salt and pepper and butter, and then drained a can of lentils, drained most of the water out or whatever's in there, dumped them in the scallops after they were almost cooked. And I'm sitting there like, I guess this is what I'm eating. I don't really have nothing else. And, season it a little more. And then I noticed, I have a can of gluten-free cream of chicken or maybe cream of mushroom. I think it was cream of chicken. I was like, I really like clam chowder, and I was like, well, they got to use some kind of cream of mushroom or something in that to make it. So I grabbed this cream of chicken, and after the beans and the scallops are going, I added that in there, and I stirred it. It started simmering a little bit. That was one of the top 5 meals I've ever made in my life. Like, it tasted like clam chowder, but a million times better. And each bite was like 4 little scallops in it. And I mean, I say little, but they were like, I mean, they were, you can't see that very good, but they were like a quarter size, maybe a little smaller. But yeah, I don't like cook extravagant meals. I got an air fryer. I cook steaks in my air fryer. I'll get ribeyes and season them up real good and put them in the air fryer for however long, 10 minutes, and cook sweet potatoes in my air fryer. I'll start those first. I eat sweet potatoes all the time. It's one of the best things for you. And that'll be it. Sweet potatoes, asparagus in the air fryer, steaks in the air fryer. It's the simplest thing. I'm just seasoning it. Put a little olive oil, like simple stuff. And this is what I do every day. And at my lunches at work, I just meal prep with simple things: eggs, turkey sausage, and diced up potatoes that I cook in the air fryer. And I just scramble some eggs and scramble some turkey sausage and freeze 5 bowls of that with like 2 eggs per bowl. And that's one of the hacks too. That's biohacking right there, is meal prepping. Like, if you can get to comfortable with eating something that is good for you, eat the same thing every day or a lot, like, that will pay off. If there's something that you can make work in that scenario. Anyways, the video's getting kind of long here. We're 46 minutes in. Yeah, I just wanted to jump on here. This is kind of just so random, everything I just talked about. Like I said, I'm going to watch this tomorrow and check back and see how goofy or crazy this sounds. Also growing my beard out for the first time really in my life, so apologize. I realize today it's getting kind of scraggly. But I don't know, I kind of like the beard. I got to figure out something here. But yeah, I hope y'all will comment on here and tell me anything you want to hear about, or if anything I mentioned in here. I don't even remember what all I just mentioned, but any kind of videos y'all would like to see, any questions you have, any tips, any advice, any hacks that you have, anything you're doing in your life that helps, comment it on here so other people can see it. That's how I've learned all this, is from other people talking about it. And my life is better than ever. And I'm literally living in a 2-car garage behind my parents' house with 2 dogs, and I share like a 2-car garage size room. Me and my daughter's room both fit in here. Like, which I'm about to build. Actually, we're about to turn this into a house, so we'll have our own little family compound over here. I'm about to build a custom home over here. Nothing crazy, just a simple 3-bedroom house. Just to spread out more. My room's pretty crammed. I would show you around, but it's pretty wild just how everything's got its place, and I try to keep it straightened up, but there's just so much stuff in here. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully by the end of this year that the house will be done. And I also will mention, this is the only video that I'm going to do until or I guess the only podcast type of, sit down video that I'm going to do until my house is done, because I'm going to have one of the bedrooms is actually going to be like a studio recording room for all this stuff, and to do, these types of things and make music, and I'll have a better setup for all this. So I just kind of wanted to do an intro video and say, hey, the Preston Scott Project, is a thing. Not really sure what all it entails. Like I said, we definitely want to make it a podcast, but the Preston Scott Project to me is bigger than that. I'm sure I'll come up with more, but for now it's a podcast trying to positively impact, you know, the world as much as I can, and that's my mission. That's the project here. That's the goal of the project, and yeah, I would love to get some feedback on this and give me more things to talk about. Maybe guests that you think that if anyone would be willing to come on here. It'll probably just be a lot of my homies, which I have a lot of cool homies. But if there's anyone that you think I could have a good conversation with that is interested in these types of things, or if you want to come on here, it'll, like I said, it could be a year from now before I start doing that. But the project has begun. It started with myself, and I'm still working on myself, but I'm to a point now where I know what I'm doing here. I know my goal. I know my purpose, my calling, and this is just me trying to just starting somewhere. You can't get anywhere if you don't start. So this is probably a little bit of an awkward, kind of all over the place video, and I appreciate you if you've made it this far. It's almost an hour. I feel like I've been sitting here for 15 minutes. I'm excited, and hopefully I'll be able to post this. Hopefully it's not too bad, too cringy. But I'm excited. Life is good. I feel very blessed. I feel the abundance, and the world seems so much more positive now. I don't know if that's just me noticing it, or if you guys are noticing that. I just feel like it's trending in a better direction, and a lot of it is how you view the world and how you manage your thoughts. Your brain is just a tool for your soul to use, is how I see it. So you got to take control here, and trust here, and just some things that I am learning, and we can deep dive on anything I've brought up on here. This is my first time doing anything like this, and hopefully somebody cares. I'm sure some people will. I'm excited though. I just wanted to, like I said, get this out there and get the ball rolling. So appreciate you if you've made it this far. Wow, because I have been rambling, and I apologize. But anyways, man, thank you for checking out the first episode of the Preston Scott Project. 1 year sober from alcohol on the 10th. I was about to say today, but I got 5 more days. But it's nothing. I'm telling you, I don't think I will ever drink again. I have no desire. It was not something that will positively benefit my life, and it's not something that I've ever or will ever have control over if I ever did drink again. So, not that I was a raging alcoholic, but just there's always going to be times where you have a few too many, and so anyways, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate all the love I've felt over this past year and a half. I felt a lot of support. I don't know if I don't know. I just am grateful for my life and the people in it, and I see all the support on social media from different people, but and a lot of times people you don't expect, and it means the world. I appreciate it. So I see you all supporting the music. Hopefully you guys this is something you can get behind too, and interact with me and talk to me and leave comments, like, subscribe. let's try to make the world better. I think we can all do that and all contribute. And it's as simple as saying good morning or saying hello to somebody. And yeah, so drinking a little mushroom wellness blend hot tea. I will cheers you and bid you good day. Thank you, love you, and God bless you all.